The Senate will come to order. Mr. Panetta, please call the roll.
Bridges. Buckner. Coleman. Cook. Coram. Danielson.
Good morning.
Donovan. Finberg. Fields. Gardner. Gardner. Janal. Gonzalez. Hanson. Heisey. Holbert. Hawkes Lewis. Kirkmeyer. Kolker. Lee. Liston. Lundin. Moreno. Pedersen. Piola. Rankin. Rodriguez. Scott.
Here.
Simpson. Smallwood. Sonnenberg. Story. Winter. Woodward. Senzinger. Mr. President.
Here. With 35 present, 0 absent, 0 excused, we have a quorum. Would the good senator from Centennial please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
Senator Liston.
Mr. President, I am prepared to throw myself at your mercy. There once was a president who was an EMT who wielded his gavel with glee. The poor freshman was in the minority. He certainly had no seniority, but appreciated that no fines would be leveled to me. And with that, Mr. President, I move the reading of the Journal Tuesday, March 2nd be dispensed with and the Journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary. Thank you, Mr. President.
The good senator from Colorado Springs, Senate District 10, will be fined $5 for referring to the president as an EMT and not a paramedic. You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Senate Services.
March 3rd, correctly printed Senate Bills 160, 161, 162, 163, 164, 165, 166, 167, 168, 169, 170, and 71, correctly engrossed Senate Bill 8, correctly re-engrossed Senate Bill 17, 20, 68, and 73.
Committee reports.
March 2nd, Mr. President, the Committee on Transportation and Energy has had in consideration and has had a hearing on the following appointments. Recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed member of the State Electrical Board for a term expiring July 1st, 2023. Monique Cisneros of Castle Rock, Colorado, serves as a journeyman electrician who is not an electrical contractor appointed. March 2nd, Mr. President, the Committee on Transportation and Energy has had in consideration has had a hearing on the following appointments. Recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed members of the Colorado Aeronautical Board effective December 19, 2020 for terms expiring December 19, 2023. George Merritt of Lafayette, Colorado, serves as representative of the Statewide Association of Airport Managers appointed. Trimba Sasbo of Broomfield, Colorado, serves as representative of the Statewide Association of Pilots appointed. Mark Van Tyne of Parker, Colorado, serves as a member familiar with and supportive of the state's aviation issues, interests, and concerns appointed. March 2nd, Committee on Finance, after consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 115 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. March 2nd, Committee on Finance, after consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 121 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
Third reading of bills. Third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Panetta, please read the title to Senate Bill 008.
Senate Bill 008 by Senator Simpson and Representatives Valdez, D. and Holtorf concerning removing the word junior from the name of certain colleges.
Members, we are on third reading. Senator Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, everybody. I move Senate Bill 008 for third reading of bill's final passage.
Is there any discussion? Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate the good senator from Alamosa bringing the bill, and I also want to respect my good friend from Sterling, the conversation we had yesterday. As I had referenced, being a former member of House Education for 4 years and Senate Education for 2, I've seen a lot of efforts to change the names of our institutions of higher ed. There's been a lot of that. It's frustrating that one community, it sounds like, didn't have adequate communication, and that again is frustrating. I hope that the folks who live in the community around Northeastern Junior College can have that conversation as this bill moves forward to the House. I do want to say that my understanding of working with the senator from Alamosa, this wasn't a top-down decision from the legislature to say, hey, let's push this on a community in northeastern Colorado. But unfortunately, it sounds like maybe the president, the leadership of the Northeastern had some conversation, but not enough. So I hope that that has an opportunity to be resolved in that community, because the people of the Sterling area, Northeast Junior College, they deserve our respect, they deserve our attention, but I will be voting yes on this bill in hopes that they can resolve those communication issues in their community. But also just want to give some due respect and recognition to the good senator from Alamosa. We thought that we had that buy-in from the community, and it's unfortunate at this point to find out that maybe that didn't actually happen in the community. So do ask for an aye vote, and appreciate the good senator from Alamosa continuing this conversation. I think in general it is good for these institutions to consider their naming, and as long as that role and mission is not changing, we want to make sure that people in those communities do have the services that have been provided by the junior colleges. And just thank you for your time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I'm going to catch you off guard here a little bit. I'm going to ask you to support the bill as well. Now, here's the deal. This is the first chamber. I do know there are efforts going on to have this discussion in the other chamber. There are 2 of these 3 colleges that have done their due diligence and deserve to have their needs met, and that's Trinidad and Otero. I'm going to ask you to pass this. I'm going to still be a no vote simply out of respect for my NJC, but I'm going to ask you to send this to the other chamber so that we can actually have this discussion in a more timely manner. I apologize that I didn't bring it up until second reading all of a sudden and things kind of flew apart. I wanted you to know what I was hearing, and it was all last minute. We have an opportunity to work on this and get this right. And quite honestly, we'll figure out in the House, with the House sponsor, what best works. But it's important for Trinidad and Otero to have those needs met. So although I'm going to be a no vote, I'm going to urge you to support the efforts of those 2 Southern colleges. Thank you.
Senator Fields.
Good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. And after sharing my remarks yesterday, I got several calls and several emails from a variety of different people in reference to the term between junior college and community college. And I mentioned to you all that I went to a junior college. That was in 1970 something. That's when my dad was, it was a long time ago. But that was the term then. And through the course of time, because it was Pikes Peak Community Junior College or something like that. Now it's called El Paso, whatever it is. It's changed. And through the course of time, sometimes we have to update and upgrade our words. And so what I've been advised by a variety of different people is that the term junior college is outdated. It's outdated. And I'm here to admit I was stuck in the past. I was stuck in reference to how I started my academic career. And it was with a junior college. But here we are in 1921, and that term is no longer relevant as it relates to those that want to go to a community college. Yes. So members, I too urge that you vote yes on this bill because words do matter, and it's time that we upgrade that term for those who do want to go to community colleges. Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion before the body, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 008 on third reading and final passage. Are there any no votes? Senator Sonnenberg. With 34 aye votes, 1 no vote, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 008 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Hawkes Lewis, Buckner, the Minority Leader, Bridges, Story, Gonzalez, announcements. Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Unfortunately, there's a lot of negative things being said about law enforcement down here, but I'm here to give a big shout out to law enforcement today. The part about the personal privilege is many of you probably don't know that I worked at Breckenridge Police Department for almost 5 years before going to Weld County. But yesterday, there was an arrest made in 2 homicides that occurred in 1982. And I was working at Breckenridge at that time. Oh, you don't need to stand up, but if you'd like. Thank you, though. I took the original missing persons report on one of the gals that was missing. And I found out yesterday, as soon as the news was breaking, that an arrest was made using DNA on the suspect. He murdered 2 young women who were hitchhiking out of Breckenridge, and one was found the next day after I took the missing persons report on top of Hoosier Pass, and the other one in Park County about 6 months later. And I just wanted to say thank you and give a huge shout out to the Park County Sheriff's Office, the Breckenridge Police Department, the Summit County Sheriff's Office, Clear Creek County Sheriff's Office, of course CBI, because they did the DNA analysis, and the FBI also assisted in solving the case. So, you know, when we think about law enforcement, let's think positively, because they were tenacious in this case, even though it was 39 years later. They didn't rest, they didn't sleep, and they finally brought justice and peace to 2 of the family members. So thank you, Mr. President, and I appreciate your listening.
Senator Quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, I would like to address what may become a disturbing pattern here. You know, we have our constitutional rights. And I was informed yesterday by the good secretary that I was fined $1 because I said something about it's okay to vote against the president. And, you know, that just, I didn't sleep all night long. It just tore me up, and I just had to address that with you today. You know, we do have these constitutional rights, but Mr. President, just to let you know, I do have a credit. I paid the bill and I have a credit, so I'm prepared for that, but I just ask that you give me liberty or give me beer.
Further announcements. Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. At the sponsor's request, I would like to announce a change of when a bill would be heard. Senate Bill 34, Water Resources Financing Enterprises, was scheduled to be heard tomorrow, March 4th. We're going to move that bill to March 11th to be heard first up in Senate Agriculture. So just pushing it 1 week, but it'll be first on the calendar on the following Thursday. Thank you, Mr. President.
Committee reports.
March 2nd, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 28 be postponed indefinitely. March 2nd, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 36 be postponed indefinitely. March 2nd, Committee on State Veterans and Military Affairs. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following: Senate Bills 41 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation.
Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to request to be excused on Friday, March 5th. I've conferred with the minority leader, who was somewhat disappointed. The majority leader, I had to beg practically on my knees for his permission to not be here on Friday, and I asked the president's permission to be excused for personal business on Friday.
The good senator from El Paso County will be excused for Friday. Senator Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to announce that the Judiciary Committee tomorrow will not be hearing Senate Bill 59. That's going to be postponed for a week or so.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, Senate Business, Labor, and Technology will be meeting at 1:30. We'll be hearing one bill, Senate Bill 39.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Members, just one quick announcement, and then we will be adjourning. If you're like me, over the last several years, I've been very jealous of the president. Because he has this really cool windbreaker and it has a little emblem on it, and it says Leroy Garcia, President of the Senate. You too, on this day, you also could not be the President of the Senate, but you could also have a windbreaker, or a backpack, or a hat. And I urge all of you, if you are going to order, to do it soon, because there's a limited supply. If you check your emails, there will be an email from the Senate Secretary detailing how to order personalized merchandise for the 73rd General Assembly. If you have any questions, please let Mr. Panetta know. But check that email, and you can place an order online for just $5. You also can have a windbreaker that says Leroy Garcia. And I urge all of you to do so, and none of us would have to be jealous any longer. So please check your emails. Special deal for senators just this year. And I look forward to seeing all of the Leroy Garcias in this chamber in April when we get our merchandise.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. Leroy Garcia. I would like to know, could it say Chris Holbert on there too? Could I wear that jacket?
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. To the good senator from Greenwood Village. Yes.
Not sure.
And no offense, but it's only $2 for that personalization.
Well, that's good. That's good.
But in all seriousness, there is some cool stuff. I think this is the only time to order it through this link, and we do this every year. So check it out. It's in your inbox, and let Mr. Panetta know if you got any questions. Mr. President, I move that the Senate adjourn until tomorrow, Wednesday, 4th, or Thursday, March 4th at 9 a.m.
Members, before we take up that motion, you all are helping increase this fine jar significantly, which we will definitely have a lot of goodies at your benefit. So the good senator from Arapahoe County and the majority leader will be fined accordingly for referring to me, another member by name at the well.
Out of respect, I have a credit.
With that, the motion before the body is,
I wasn't referring to them.
you've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. And the motion is adopted. Senator will stand in adjournment until 0900 hours on Thursday, March 3rd, 2021.